And he tried to counter that! And he tried to counter that! I read you! I downloaded you! I downloaded you! So I played the Invincible beta, and I don't think it was a terrible game by any means, like how a lot of people are acting online. But I also don't think it was a great game. It was just good, and I don't think fighting games have that luxury of just being good. So for some context, I am a mediocre fighting game player. Like, I'm not somebody who is super into fighting games, but anytime a new fighting game comes out, I'm probably going to buy it. Like, I bought Street Fighter 6, I bought Tekken 8, I bought Guilty Gear Strive. My favorite fighting game of all time is Blast with Central Fiction. But if I'm playing a fighting game, I'm probably only going to get to silver, maybe almost diamond rank. Please come here. He's dodging me. And then I'm putting the game down. Like, if it passes 2 or 3 months into the game, I'm going to put it down for a little bit. I'm not that into fighting games like that, but I really do enjoy them. And I think this point of view can be somewhat important, because I feel like right now we're in a time where we're seeing more and more fighting games come out and say that they want to, cater to more casuals. They want to bring in more casual audience. While at the same time, you see some people that are super into fighting games, you see the FGC community, be like, don't appeal to the casuals. We do not want them. So you get this kind of tug of war balance. And if the company does want to cater to casuals, how would we do that without making the fighting game lose its identity and actually do it in a way that can keep the casuals hooked? The Invincible game is in a really good spot right now. It's one of the 3 fighting games that are releasing this year, next to Tokon and Avatar. And I would say Invincible positions itself to be the best to appeal to the casual audience. The Invincible IP is pretty big right now, and it could really get a bunch of those Invincible fans to start to play a fighting game. And you could say, well, Avatar Marvel can maybe appeal the same way. But Marvel Tokon's kind of positioning itself in a different way, where it's an exclusive, PS5 exclusive. It's made by Arc System Works, a company that is known to produce fighting games that go to EVO. And with Marvel Tokon, even though they say, yes, we want to appeal to casuals, you can also tell just by looking at the game, it's just like the gameplay is more in depth than Invincible Versus is. And then with the Avatar game, while yes, it is also appealing to like the Avatar fans, you can get those Avatar video game enjoyers to finally pick up a fighting game because they don't really get Avatar content, so they're going to want to pick this up because it's an Avatar game. When's the last time we got an Avatar Last Airbender game? But the thing is with that though, most Avatar fans are older people. With Invincible, you still get the the teenagers, the young adults. But with Avatar fans, most of us are young adults or above 30, because Avatar came out a while ago. We haven't got new like actual Avatar cartoon content since. I don't know if the younger generation really cares about Avatar like that, to be honest. I don't know if there's people in high school or college right now really attaching themselves to Avatar like that. It has a different audience to pull from than Invincible, if that makes sense. Now, Avatar is going to get the older people, who with older people tend to be the ones that are playing more fighting games and playing different types of games, where the younger generation usually kind of plays the same, live servers or shooter games. Usually they're not really into fighting games as much as the older generation. While Invincible can appeal to that younger fan base because it's more relative and trending in this time right now. So Invincible has the best shot to grab those casual players, but I don't know if it will. First off, I want to say that I think the gameplay for this Invincible Versus game is good. I think it's solid. The tagging mechanic also was a very excellent choice for this game. I think tagging mechanics can actually really appeal to casual players, as there's more options to extend combos and to get out of combos defensively. And I think it also really sells the whole Invincible type of aesthetic they're trying to go for, as the devs of the game said that they wanted to do a 3v3, because when you're watching Invincible, you see the heroes usually fight as a squad, not usually by themselves. So it really does help with that. Doing combos felt super nice, and I think the game just plays well. There was some noticeable lag when they were tagging in and trying to do tag breaks, which the devs had said they would address, which is good news. But I do think the gameplay is solid. I don't think it's a bad game at all. But what tagging can also do is exemplify your amazing roster. But if your roster is bare bones, it could really show that as well. So I played around 6 characters. If you count me playing as Invincible in the training mode, I played around 7 characters. And I would say each character does play different, but they don't necessarily feel different. in my opinion. With Rex, I'm opting to be more mobile, breaking opponents' combos with explosions. Yet, who I was playing didn't really matter to me. I wasn't really playing for aesthetics. I was mainly playing for what character I was more comfortable with playing and what character is easier for me to win with. And you could be like, well, isn't that how every fighting game is? You play with characters, that you can play as. And while that is true to an extent, when a casual first picks up a fighting game, they're going to go to their first beloved character or the character that looks the coolest and what cool attacks the character can do. And Invincible has that. Of course you want to play as Battle Beast, of course you want to play as Omni-Man maybe, but I think after playing like 8 hours of the game, none of the characters to me did anything cool to me. None of it was like, wow, that was super cool, or damn, I can't wait to pull off this move in the next match. It was mainly just like, damn, that was a long combo. That was a good combo. I maximized. That was cool. I can't wait to bring this into the next match. While again, that is like the purpose of fighting games, maximize damage, maximize combos. But none of the players, again, really did anything cool to me. Rex's projectiles were kind of lame, in my opinion, looking. Battle Beast, like, he looks cool, but he doesn't, again, none of his like combos or his actions really like inspire me, I guess. With every character I played as, I kind of played them the same. I always set up combos kind of the same. In a way, this is good because, every character kind of feels the same. So they're easier to pick up, play and try different characters. But it could also be boring after a while if you try and make this game last a long time. And I just don't think Invincible has that many unique or cool characters that are also relevant. And I know that Invincible Versus will have more character depth to it. Like, I know from reading the Game Informer interview with the Invincible Versus devs, they said that Duplicate will be able to split into her clones, but in order to create clones she would have to like sacrifice her health. But her creating clones allows her to mix up the opponent and do a lot of damage in a short amount of time, which makes her like a glass cannon. But if she does reabsorb her clones, she does gain health back as well. So I mean, that's interesting. That's a character that plays completely different from other characters. And is pretty cool as well. Like, you're creating clones of yourself. That's a cool character. But how many Invincible characters that have cool powers like that are also again relevant to Invincible now, or is popular with I guess even the audience? Most of the characters that we see in Invincible kind of have the same. They don't really do combos. Don't have any special moves. It's just the same thing, like punch kick. And I know that Invincible devs are going to make playing different Viltrumites feel different. Like, the recent Conquest is going to be more of a grappler. Invincible, he flies around more. He hones in his opponent more. Omni-Man and Dula play differently. They don't, again, do anything cool. So developing movesets for characters that have already a pre-made conservative moveset, it can limit the devs in how creative they can be with them, because you can't just have Alan do a fucking beam out of his eye if we have never seen that before, or do something crazy. But when you're able to create your own characters from scratch, like how the Invincible Versus is getting their own character specific just for this game, it allows them to be free with what their visions for a Invincible game or what a Invincible character can play as. And we see that with their original character Elemental, who has elemental powers, and just at a glance you can tell that she has the most sauce out of any of the characters that we saw in the beta, and she most likely will have the most sauce out of any of the characters we will see get introduced to this game. Cool gore can only carry your game so far. I mean, you see that with the last Mortal Kombat game. Yes, Mortal Kombat appeals to more casuals, but that last game was just bad, and no amount of cool gore effects can really save your game from being a bad game. And of course, Invincible is in a better place than Mortal Kombat because this game is not bad from what I can tell from any means. And it doesn't seem like the devs truly care about the fighting game community and that they're listening, but they do have their work cut out for them. Playing the beta online really showed me that people do not want to play games competitively like that, and people also do not like losing. Again, which is understandable, but the amount of rage quits I was running into on the game, and when I was seeing people complain about it on Twitter, I was like, oh, we're dragging it a little bit. It's not that common. But when I was playing, I would probably run into a rage quitter maybe one in every 3 or 5 matches. Hopefully this doesn't carry over to the full release of the game, because I think some of the rage quitting was due to them not wanting to lose their rank. I think they wanted to, get into that top 20, because if you got into the top 20, you got to be in the game credits, which is stupid and it's sweaty. And also, people are running into weren't even close to like top 20. They would have like 10 wins total. So maybe it is not just because they were, wanting to get into a good rank. Maybe it's just because how they are. But I guess we don't know until the full release of the game comes out. And it's all fun and games to point at the casual player and be like, haha, you suck, you keep rage quitting, you're annoying, you don't want to learn. And it's true that we can't ignore that some of the casual players were not bringing over a toxic vibe to the game beta. But on the other end, we have to acknowledge that we want more casual players, and that it is okay to allow people to enjoy a game. Like I saw people talking about how this guy on TikTok posted that he wanted button layouts on the combo screens. So instead of just saying assist, it would say press X or have X right next to assist. And instead of people being like, I think that will help casual gamers, get more used to the game. People just attacking him, being like, you haven't played a fighting game before? Oh, it's just easy. Just look at the button layout. Why don't you just look at the button layout of the controller, and then you go back to the combos, and then you can memorize what the buttons are and all that. Like, that's not a good, I guess, mindset or conversation that we should be having. Like, it's not productive at all. Attacking him is not getting us anywhere. He's clearly someone that wants to learn how to play the game. That's why he's asking for these button layouts in the first place. Because he's in the tutorial, he wants to learn how to play the game. In my opinion, there's no harm to be done to add the button layouts to the combo screen. It doesn't hurt anybody at all, and I feel like it just makes it more readable for casual players. I don't understand why everybody was attacking him and being like, I cannot believe these are the casual players we're trying to appeal to. The Invincible devs should not be listening to people like this. That's not helping us at all. And I feel like the FGC community did that with motion inputs as well. Granted, I guess there's other conversations that need to be had around motion inputs, but just bashing people for using special mode or motion inputs is not helping us move the conversation forward. If you guys don't think motion inputs are good, then what else do you think will help casuals get in to the fighting game space? I think a lot of fighting game devs are failing to realize that casual players do not want to play in a competitive space. No amount of special mode or motion inputs will want them to play competitively for months or years online. Casual players want to play their fighting game casually. And what we are failing to realize is that pushing them into online is not going to keep them on the game. What a lot of fighting games are missing is genuine single player content. How are you catering to casuals but not offering them any way to play their game casually? If they're playing on motion inputs or playing a special mode, they want to go up in ranks on online, they're going to hit a certain wall. Not everyone after a long day of work wants to get online and lose 1 to 3 to somebody. No one wants to do that. No one wants to get juggled in the corner a lot for an entire night. No amount of special mode, motion inputs, or tagging are going to make that experience any more fun. What casuals want to do after a long day of work is play casual content. Give them good single player content. Give them an arcade mode, of course. Give them a good story mode. Give them varying different single player content, not just the arcade mode and story, but give them different modes. And then give them casual online modes. Maybe a little casual tournament, maybe casual endless. Maybe have some modifiers for some casual games, like, I don't know, a big head mode or anti-gravity mode or low gravity mode where nobody can fly, or now there's special items. Like, make online even casual as well for these players. So then there's a competitive space for the game, and there's also a casual space for the game. And I don't know why a lot of devs fail to realize that that's what we want, because Super Smash Bros. Does really well because of that. It really does appeal to casuals and competitive players really nicely, and it has a fan base that is constantly alive, while competitive games, of course, die over time. And it's really important that we get casual online modes. Like, again, while single player modes are really good, and we do need way more single player modes than we have ever gotten in fighting games, but people want to play with their friends. And if I want to play with my friends, sometimes I don't want to sweat against them. We just want to play casually and have little funny laughs and all that, especially in a party. So give us more casual multiplayer modes in fighting games. I think we need that. I saw a Game Informer interview with the devs say that the story mode will be as long as Invincible special, and they said, think about how long the Adam and Eve special was, about an hour. That's how long the Invincible versus story mode will be, and it will include all the characters. Story mode cannot be an hour, of course. I don't think it's going to be an hour, but maybe it's going to be like each character in the base roster has like an hour of gameplay. So while I was editing this video, the Invincible devs released a Invincible story mode trailer and had a Invincible story mode trailer interview with Xbox, and I had to update the video a little bit. The trailer and the interview did confirm that the story mode will play like an Invincible episode. So it does seem like it will be like an hour long. But the story mode did look really good. The cutscenes did look good. But they also confirmed that they're adding an arcade mode. Of course, I kind of expect this in a fighting game. But with the arcade mode, there is a lot of unlockables. It looks like you can unlock concept art from the comics, the show, and the game. And it also looks like you can unlock different versions of the arena, different customizations, and you can also unlock music and soundtracks as well. That is really cool. I do hope there is more in terms of casual play for single player and for online, especially for online, like I said earlier. But this does seem that they're at least giving us a little bit of something. But I also kind of expected to get like arcade mode anyways. But it does seem like the unlocks are really good. I think it's about time we get a good casual fighting game where everybody kind of knows the game, knows how to play the game, and everyone plays it when we're all over and all that stuff. I think the fighting game genre low-key is missing that. But we don't offer casuals, single player content or single player online content. They can be forced to play competitively, and to a certain point, that skill gap between them and casual players or people that can put more hours into the game is going to widen and widen, and then the casual players are just not going to get online anymore and just stop playing. And I think fighting game devs, for some reason, just keep acting like that won't happen, even though that is clearly what happens over time with fighting games. So I think they just need to really give the casuals their own space online. But yeah, what do you guys think? Do you guys think this game is going to be the bringer of more casual fighting games? Do you think this is like a really good step in the right direction, and this will be really successful and it will bring in more games like this? Or do you think this game might be DOA? I personally think this game might do pretty well. I just don't know how well it will do after like 6 months maybe. And I pray that this game is good. I really do want this game to succeed, and I really do want like a new fighting game as well to enjoy. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. Please like and please subscribe. I'm trying to get to 200 subscribers. We're almost there. I really appreciate it, and I got more content on the way. You guys have a nice one. Peace.